Good evening. The news gang is here, and tonight, bordering on insanity, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all riding on a bike. Where does it stop? Hustlers abroad and other short stories from America and England too. The heat, the hits, the misses, the near misses, and the missing mamambogas. Oh, are they? Plus, an Oka deal at last? The signs of a possible signing or what could be signed in the future before signing up with Azimio. Is time running out? On Yvonne's take, the big crackdown and a noisy ride to nowhere. Gashuri punches into the looting nation called Kenya. The kicker is a welcome note to the new CEO at the IEBC. And on the angle tonight, a reflection and a transition.
That time has come. Nothing short of a very ruthless and radical reorganization of that Boda sector is going to solve us.
These people are behaving like beasts, like they are not human at all. And so we are here as a team in government to reiterate that that time has come. And we shall make sure that before long, this madness has come to an end.
A crackdown mounted by the police.
All right, so everybody breathing fire there, but we'll come to that in a moment. Wilson Mushora is our fifth gangster here, helping us with the sign language interpretation. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody's seemingly quite angry there, but in some ways also deja vu, but bottom line, Linus, that what happened this week was indeed quite horrible.
It was terrible. It was ugly. It was shocking. It was outrageous. And in many ways, it was just a matter of time. It was waiting to happen. I haven't met a single Kenyan who has not had a bad story to tell about the Boda industry. Yet it is an industry which even right here on Citizen TV we have told very good stories about, because they are very decent people earning a living out of this Boda industry. But all hell goes or breaks loose whenever there is a road accident involving a Boda rider. They basically forget everything and take, as they say, take the law into their hands. And this incident that was captured on camera now took it beyond the limits. Is it the first time? Probably the first time captured on camera. There could have been horrible things that have happened before to innocent Kenyans or innocent motorists as a result of the kind of conduct that we saw last Monday.
And it's interesting you say that, because I think there's a sense in which borders have changed a lot in terms of how we live, and they have revolutionized everything in this life about transportation, even in some really remote places. You think about people who are now able to get to hospital faster. You think about parcel delivery and all of these things. And yet you have this very ugly, this very scary side of the same industry, Francis.
It's like any other sector. It has its good and its bad. But unfortunately, the good has been overshadowed by the bad. And that bad has also been allowed to continue for too long. Because, I mean, ask any of our viewers today, motorists and other road users, what happens if they're on the road and they happen to, in one way or another, find themselves in a situation with a Boda rider? Most of them will tell you they will not stop.
Take off.
They will take off.
As far as that engine can take.
Yeah, they will flee to the nearest police station. Why? Because they are afraid of being mobbed, being harassed, being bullied. And you know, that solidarity thing, mass psychology, if you may like it. In fact, let me even call it mob justice. Because you touch one Boda rider, it's like you have touched all of them. And I still don't understand why and how, if your vehicle and mine have, you know, a scenario on the road, we don't get out and start fighting. We relax, wait for the police officers to come and deal with the situation. The one who is guilty pays. I mean, your vehicle has insurance, mine has insurance. If you hit a pedestrian, the police officers will come and take charge of the situation. But I don't know where this sense of justice came from, where if you touch a boda rider, then you're guilty already, even though the mistake may have been caused by a boda rider. This operation that is going on, welcome, because probably it's going to bring sanity. However, it should not be used as an opportunity to harass innocent boda riders. It should also not be an opportunity for the law enforcement agencies to make money out of the boda riders. I mean, these are young men and women who are fending for their families, who are paying loans, who have taken some of the bikes on loan. So they're building the economy in their own way. But while at it, those who are rogue, those who are tainting the image of the sector should be weeded out. Yesterday, Raquel Muigai did a brilliant story from Thika, where those boda riders have congregated. They have their own system. They have their even a way of knowing who operates in their territory in the sub counties or in the sub county of Thika. Each ward has its own colors. Those are the systems that need to be put in place. However, beating up these boda riders, harassing them, taking away their bikes will not necessarily resolve the situation. It should be done in a systematic manner. But the boda riders should also accept to be regulated, and they should also act in a disciplined manner. Otherwise, it will be anarchy.
And I want to pick up from that. Look, you know, how many times have we tried to do reforms in this sector? And I think perhaps this is the moment when we need to take a look at that. 2.4 million registered motorbikes in the country at the moment. It is said that the sector earns 350 billion shillings every year. And in as much as there's many that are registered, there's also close to 80,000 that are unregistered in the country, you know, at the moment. And so, you know, when you take a look at these numbers, then the question you start to ask yourself is, why did it have to come to this? Look at what we're doing now. It's, you know, pretty routine, and we're saying this is, you know, a crackdown or an operation. So, I mean, I think for me it is, you know, a moment such as this to not let it go to waste and to have some serious conversations around this sector. And we've seen this happening before. Remember with the matatu sector, it started off, became, you know, a huge industry, became unruly at some point, and then decades later it took Michuki coming in, you know, to then rein in the system. And so for me it's just, you know, one crackdown after another, one reform after another. We've seen report after report after report. And then, you know, this sudden, you know, rage and fire and fury, you know, after an incident such as this one. And so for me, it's just to finally take this sector more seriously and to put in place reforms, you know, and some sort of assistance, because it is a big economy. It's a big industry employing many young men and women.
And you know, it's really scary when you talk about 80,000 things with engines moving around, but they're not registered. Because anything that has an engine actually is potentially quite dangerous, and they are just floating around. We've seen, for example, crime involving people on bikes. You know, maybe they just come and you roll down your window to check what's happening, and before you know it, so there are people who have been killed and that sort of thing. And to think that there are a lot of these things that don't have licenses, it's scary enough. But there's another dimension as we finish this, because we really need to move, which is called politics, Linus. And then in this country, anytime you see politics get involved in anything, you lost the fight. Because we've seen anybody in this country who wants to launch their campaign, whether it's MCA, woman rep, whatnot, governor, all of these people, the outriders, you know, when we were a little bit younger, outriders were reserved for only one person in the country. But right now, just anybody can marshal like 200 or so of those people, and they will be there. And so the moment there will be any attempt at regulating that sector, sometimes really legitimate attempts, because there is nobody. I mean, even as we are sitting here, we don't just do whatever we want. There are regulations in this country, laws, and all of those things that govern every sector in this country. So anytime you see the politicians start speaking in a certain way, then those people get boldened, especially the rogue type, so that at the end of the day it will be this blanket thing that, oh, no, don't harass these people. And in the process, you are unable to take any action because now the people who are unregistered, there are so many that if they were to mount a challenge and say, no, we are being harassed and that sort of thing. And that is a big thing. And we've seen politics quite literally rain on our parade in almost everything that we try to do in this country.
Absolutely. And if you may remember the 14-seater matatu, when John Michuki tried to introduce it, in the heat of the re-election campaign, somewhere in Eastlands here in Nairobi, President Mwai Kibaki, who was not your regular politician, he was actually more principled than quite a number of politicians that we know today. He also actually took a step back and said, let it be. Do not disturb the matatus. It is the politicization of everything. And we get it wrong as a country when we politicize public administration, when we politicize enforcement of law and order. It's a recipe for chaos. If this thing, again, falls short in terms of the implementation of the regulations, then we'll be in trouble. And, you hear politicians talking of crackdown. Why should it be a crackdown? What happened to regular regulation, regular law and order?
The crackdown. You have to check if someone has a helmet.
So it's called
yes, you don't have to crack anything. Just enforce the law.
Yeah, I think we need to take a break. But Francis, maybe you can tell us what LSK. I know we are done with Boda. It's an update from LSK. I don't know where the results are.
The numbers are streaming in. They are at LSK headquarters along Gitanga Road, and looks like Eric Theuri is leading by far. The numbers looking like 1,811. Closest challenger, Caroline Kamende Daudi, 1085. Omwanza Umbati, about 920. Matthew Nyabena, 745. And Banan Getich, 452. So, barring any surprise, then Eric Theuri should be Nelson Harvey's successor at the LSK.
Let's take that break then. This is going to take us a short break. We'll be right back.